8121 Talk, Season 4, Episode 3. I'm Al.
And I am Elon Diaz.
And we got a question for you today.
What's the question?
Is social media detrimental or beneficial?
Let's see.
Let's see.
Ladies and gentlemen, back by popular demand.
What do you think?
Mixed.
Mixed.
Yeah.
Mixed meaning? What
meaning
do you mean?
that it could be both. It's beneficial, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because depending on what you use social media for,
Right.
it could be beneficial. Like if you use social media mainly to keep in touch with friends, family, people who are in different places, miles
Right.
apart and everything.
Right.
It could be beneficial. Update the family on what's going on, share your ups and downs and your joys and, beneficial,
with
right?
family. With family, with everybody.
Family, friends, use it as a
way to keep in touch.
A way to keep in touch,
Yeah.
to encourage people, positive things.
A way to maybe stay connected with someone like yourself. You were in the Army and you might have friends and y'all moved to different states.
Oh, yeah.
It's a way. Right.
Definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the beneficial stuff.
Yeah. And of course, our high school classmates, stuff like that. But,
Okay.
yeah, so when you use it like that, that's good. And, and sometimes you get good information on social media.
On social media, right? So let me ask you this. Detrimental, which we're going to cover that.
Right.
Right. But let's start off. We have questions or topics that we've kind of went over and we're just going to present them to the listeners.
Okay.
Well, give me one of those over there. Give me one of those over there.
Well, let's talk about the good things about social media first, the positive things.
I think we said that though.
Right, but let's talk about other things. Like we had discussed before we got on the mic about how social media can help in emergency situations.
Give me an example with that.
Say, for instance, I hate to use this because this person wasn't really kidnapped or anything like that.
Right.
But say, for instance, someone is kidnapped and they still have use of their phone.
Mm-hmm.
They could make a post.
Don't know why a kidnapper would still allow you to use your phone.
Well, okay. Or if you get lost somewhere.
Right. If you have a signal.
Or in an accident.
Right.
Whatever, you can always call for help.
So you're saying use as a communication device or some way to communicate with someone that you having a problem, something's going on.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you can also, it can also be used to put out information that is a benefit to the community as a whole. You know what I'm saying?
Family functions, hazardous conditions in a certain area.
Yeah, community functions.
Yeah.
Things like that. Okay.
That's nice.
Okay.
That's nice. That's what the internet should be, right?
Right. And then look at us. What are we doing?
We're talking on the internet right now.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
We're not putting out no stupid stuff.
No. We stay away from certain topics. We stay away from things like that.
Right. And I would like to think that the things that we talk about is helping someone somewhere.
Minus some of the stuff we're going to talk about later, which we purposely do.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's going to be a legacy that we're leaving behind for our children, our grandchildren, their great-grandchildren. But yeah, so that's some of the positive things about social media.
I was telling a friend of mine that you just spoke about legacy. I was talking to Steve today, Steve D, and I explained to him that legacy part means a lot to me because with my mother going, your mother going, we struggle to find material or anything with their voice on it.
Yeah.
And we're doing this, even if it doesn't move 1 million views, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's always going to be there.
Right.
And our kids can maybe listen to it when we're gone, and they can get an idea of who we were
Right.
and how we talked. And also we can keep them company.
Right. Because the oldest she tells me all the time that whenever she is looking at a podcast or hear my voice, she cries.
Right.
Because she's like, that's my mama. So
right.
Legacy.
Right. Now, detrimental.
Okay. So the negative things, false narratives.
Mm-mm. You want me to jump in right here? Or you want to start this
Man, some people will be up on, and I'm going to use some incorrect English right now, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to get a little ethnic.
Right.
Some people will be up on that internet.
You are ethnic.
Some people will be up on that internet.
Right.
Acting like they don't stink.
Mm-hmm.
And they got it all together.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is happy, go lucky, everything in their house. They got money.
Mm-hmm.
They got friends. They got cars.
Right.
They got whatever. And then they will portray themselves to be that this is they have the perfect life, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And what they're doing is the right thing. And if you're not doing the same thing that they're doing, then somehow you're living your life wrong.
Yeah. I had a friend of mine, and I've said this on other podcasts, but I'll rehash it. It's like Facebook gives the undeserving a platform.
The undeserving the platform. And you made a post a couple of days ago on your Instagram about it would give, you said a punk, something to that.
Something to that nature.
That nature. Right. A platform to act like they have skills or they technical expertise in something that they really don't have.
You know how they say in the Army, be all you can be?
Mm-hmm.
Well, on the internet, you can be all that you can be.
On the internet, you can be whatever you want to be.
You could be a Navy SEAL. You could be a Ranger. You could be an E8, E7.
You sure can.
You could be whatever you want to be.
And then you can portray yourself. You could be sitting in a little old space and put up a prop, a background that make it look like you living in the mansion.
Living in a mansion. You could use AI to do that, or you could use AI to make yourself look 10 years younger. You could do whatever. You can create a false narrative.
But then when you walk away, turn that camera off.
Well, boy.
You might be living in a one-room, run-down shack.
Now, don't get me wrong. I grew up in a shack. It's not exactly where you are physically, if that makes sense. It's how you carry yourself. Like I always say, it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Right. But I'm talking about if you sitting there on social media and you trying to make it seem like you're living in the lap of luxury and then downplaying people who are not, but you make them feel like they suck at life and that you have it going on. And then, like I said, when you turn that camera off, that's not the story. You don't even have it going on, but you just want people to think you do.
Well, see, the thing is about social media, and I have to state this, sometimes the creation or creating of a false narrative or building this world on social media is not directed at you, but the world you create causes what I would like to call that narrative out there causes people to see it. And though it's not directed directly at you, you can look at that and say, man, I need to get my life together.
Right.
But I'm getting my life together. I'm being motivated by a lie.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, but then people will say, well, it doesn't matter the why behind it, it's the outcome from it. So if I'm motivated by a lie, but it gets me to better myself and put myself in a better place, is that bad?
An expansive lie. if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let me add that to it.
Okay.
A glorious lie. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know you live at 2016 First Avenue, and that's my address as a kid,
Mm-hmm.
right? You ain't got no Bentley sitting outside,
Mm-mm.
and you ain't making no 200 grand
Mm-mm.
a year. You're not a millionaire.
Right.
Right.
And that negative effect that they have on people who think that because they're not living their life the way these people on social media is portraying their
They're a
lives to
failure.
be, they're a failure.
Mhm.
And that can affect their
Like the
mental.
psyche. It could damage the psyche a little bit.
Mhm.
It is, another thing I want to add there about being detrimental. Social media, I believe, in today's time, people only see the end game.
Right. They don't see the hard work that go
No.
into it. On the most part, I mean, there are people who will document their journey from beginning to end and will show the hard work.
Which is why the vlogs got really popular in the last few years. I was listening to this guy. I don't want to say his name because he said a comment, but he was a real popular YouTuber. And his theory was, if I show you my journey here, right, I can get views like that.
Right.
So, yeah, I messed this up. Or I woke up late.
Right.
And this and that. Or I was trying to ride a skateboard and I fell over. Right. So you get to see it and you tune in. Okay. And you say, okay, he's human. I like stuff like that.
Right.
I just don't like it when I only see the end game.
Right. Because when they do things like that, it's showing you the truth along the way.
Yeah. Yeah. And plus, let's talk about that end game for 1 second. Well, one hot second. What's sad about it is you see end games. I'm talking about things that require a skill set or whatever. I can see the way you execute what you're proclaiming. You ain't put the time in.
Exactly.
But you can't tell that person that, like, yo, you trash.
Right. That's
Right?
when people are portraying themselves to be subject matter experts.
Subject matter experts. Can you say that again?
Subject matter experts. SMEs.
Becoming influencers and doing things like product reviews, certain skill sets, whatever. It could be photography. It could be anything.
Anything.
And these people are proclaimed subject matter experts. And for, could you kind of like go into what a subject matter expert is? I got a degree in that, but you could explain it better.
You like you said, you got the degree, but okay. A subject matter expert is a person who is at the top of the field in which they have committed themselves and dedicated their time to learn. Say, if you are a welder.
Yeah. It would be my most knowledgeable welder.
Yes.
He knows every aspect of welding.
Exactly.
So me as an instructional designer, before I design something for you, I would reference a subject matter expert so I can create a plan that fits that welder, those welders, not just the education of it or how to do it, because I can go read a book. He's also telling me about that environment,
right?
How things work, who this is, who that is,
right?
In their chain of command,
right?
And so forth and so forth.
Practical, logical. What's the other word I'm looking for? Applicable. All of that.
Yeah. So the subject matter expert.
Yes.
So we're saying it's detrimental when you fake the funk and act like a subject matter expert and you have no experience.
Right. Because you put out false information and then people are looking at you as that subject matter expert and they will say, well, so-and-so said, this is the way it happens. This is the way you do it.
Okay.
And then they go out there and do something and it don't work out that way. And it could be detrimental to their life.
So let me give you an example. I had the Hohem M6 crane, the camera for the crane. It's a stabilizer. And so I looked at this chick and she has a 30-minute video on how to balance it, what this does, what that does, what this button does, what are the different gimbal stabilizers, functions, and modes. And I looked at it. It was a waste of 30 minutes. And the reason why it was a waste of 30 minutes, time that I can't get back, is because my dumb ass went to Hohem site. I told you I spoke to the guy, right? I went to the site. All she did was watch their video and said everything they said verbatim. Now, that's fine. You can do that. But you are acting like a subject matter expert. When you put out videos, I think she might put videos out like once every other day. And
if you was to ask her a question in the comments, she probably wouldn't be able to answer it.
Okay, let's say if, and it's a great example, let's say if the Canon R5C comes out on Tuesday. The way social media works and really represents Facebook right now is you're going to have reviews in a day. Impossible, because you have to use the camera. It takes time and this and that. But right now, because we're talking about influencing and creating false narratives, people will step into that lane and they will sell you. Because you remember Les Brown? Great. I think he's one of the greatest speakers. Right. And I think he's very influential. Whatever the other words are. I'm drawing a blank right now, but I think he's dope. It takes time to get to that level.
Yes.
Some people go on the internet and they will act like they are charismatic. They will act like they're SMEs. I'm sorry, subject matter experts, and so forth and so forth. When you're not, you're creating a false narrative of a false narrative. And you sitting there like, But for me, that's what's detrimental about the internet.
Right.
False narratives.
Right. And then these influencers.
Yeah.
These influencers in all fields, fashion,
electronics,
whatever. We was watching the show. I want to say it was one of my shows that I like to watch. Maybe it was 911.
Okay.
Last season. It was the one female that was an influencer, and she was going around doing videos in people's houses and stuff like that. Okay. And, you know, just saying, you got to do this. And she had all these followers. And I think because of her and her videos, someone did something and they almost died.
Right.
Because they was doing something that they seen her do, or she says that this is the way to do it or whatever. And so that leads me to these challenges that they have all over TikTok and YouTube and everything.
Right.
Like that one, the milk crates where they were stacking the milk crates and trying to walk across them.
It was the water bucket challenge. Where they pour the cold water over you.
Oh, yeah. And then I told you about the oldest grandchild who did the cinnamon challenge.
Cinnamon challenge, right.
Some years back. It's been over 10 years ago when she did it.
Right.
And I can remember, it's not funny, but it's funny. But she took that spoonful of cinnamon, and as soon as it got in her mouth, she was gagging, coughing, almost choked to death.
Now, let me say this, and this goes directly to social media. We had challenges when we were kids. You know, one of the oldest ones was, you know, looking in the mirror and saying, "What was that?"
Don't say it.
Yeah. Are you serious right now?
I still.
Well, you say the person's name 5 times and they'll appear in the mirror behind you.
Yeah, don't say it.
So we had little things like that, or dares, and you know, things like that.
Yeah, but not as dangerous.
It's not as widespread.
Right.
As what social media has amplified it.
Right.
Right. And some of these challenges are just straight up stupid.
Stupid, unsafe, unhealthy.
Yeah.
And so that goes into, especially for children. So do you think that social media should be monitored for children, minors, and young adults?
I think so. I mean, right now, if you make a Gmail account, right, if you don't list yourself as at least 18, right, you don't have all the full functions that you should have with a Gmail, which also leads into YouTube. But everybody can lie on it.
Right. So how would you how would you fix that?
I don't
How
know.
would these companies fix that to verify that these kids are, you know,
Of legal age.
Yeah.
Okay.
How would they fix that?
I have no idea. My answer might be a little old school with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2 words: responsible parents. But my grandmother used to say, you know, they're old fools too. So
There sure is.
I don't have an answer for it. Because
mean-
we're talking about an individual's time, their freedom, wherever they're at, their house, they pay their bills, their lights, they do whatever they want to do.
And it's kind of hard. I mean, that would be a hard thing to do,
Mhm.
but it should be some kind of oversight.
We're talking about a moral
Mm-hmm.
decision.
It should be some kind of oversight.
Right.
But I mean, you can't get away from social media. It's not going away.
It's tough.
And it's to the point now that even the schools
are using social media to educate the children.
Right, because most middle school and high school children, I think the elementary school, because doesn't Elijah have a laptop that he used during class?
Elijah, Zarius has one that he brings home.
Right.
Yep.
So you just can't get away from it, but there has to be some type of oversight, monitoring of what, like, I guess like what China does with TikTok.
TikTok.
Mm.
TikTok.
TikTok.
So I'm hearing some news. I'm hearing that the U.S. wants to ban TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true?
Yes. So there has been a bill that has been unanimously, I can't say the word, passed by the House that wants to ban TikTok unless the parent company
ByteDance.
BYTE.
Oh, Byte, like kilobyte, megabyte.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dance sells it off because America doesn't want us to have a social media platform or app that is owned by one of our adversaries. Because they're concerned with spying and
because the app collects
other things.
Because the app collects information.
Yes.
Right.
And
we,
then
we
you
can
have
get
to,
into information, but
right. And you have to give it permission, you know, and everything.
Yeah. Does it just sound like hate on America's part?
It does, but I mean, I don't know. So if they pass that and they ban TikTok, then that means that TikTok would not be in your app stores. You won't be able to download it on any electronic devices. And so is that going too far? Is that a violation of your constitutional rights?
The thing that pops into my mind is an old, saying, heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Yes.
I wouldn't want to have to make that decision. It could be a start on getting control of what our children see and young adults see on the internet. But it can make you very unpopular.
Right.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
And think about all these TikTok influencers. Think about all these people who have TikTok stores.
And made millions of dollars.
And are making money right now. What in the world would happen if TikTok is no longer available?
Well, in this case, I figured an American company would jump up. So let me go back to some history. At one point, nothing compared to Vine.
Oh,
It was the same thing.
Yeah.
The difference was it was a 7-minute clip instead of a 1-minute clip. 7 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. A lot of these guys, like I watched like King Batch, the funny stuff. They started off on Vine. A lot of
do it for the Vine.
A lot of singers got their start via the Vine, which is what's happening on TikTok. They didn't try to shut that down.
They shut it down.
Somebody bought it.
Oh.
See, they got swallowed up.
Okay. Do it for the Vine.
Twitter was on them.
I'm not going to do it.
Twitter was on them. And then even Instagram, started changing. Hey, here's a reel, which is the same thing. But you're saying with TikTok, it's like, oh, it's a Chinese company. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm on TikTok, but sometimes the algorithm works like whatever you view the most is what they put on your
Yeah.
timeline. So
Yeah.
I'm always looking at pranks,
Mm-hmm.
practical jokes, and our own stuff, whether it's the DJ videos and stuff like that.
Right. Right.
Instagram is a little different
Mm-hmm.
because if you look at a big booty one time,
your timeline is going to be flooded with big booties.
Big booties. Now, another
Big
thing,
videos.
maybe like 2 years
sorry.
ago, I looked at our girl Cassie. Is that her name? African dancer.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, Instagram, maybe they assumed I'm from Africa.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all types of Afro, whatever they call that music.
Mm-hmm.
And the dancing and the stuff like that. And I'm like, bro, I want to see this.
I want to see all that.
But his algorithms are a beast, which goes back into how it influences our kids.
Right. Influence our kids. Influence us.
Yeah.
Too.
You remember when we were looking for Coach Bags?
Yes.
How soon did it pop up on your Instagram or Facebook timeline?
Instantly.
Right. So
my timeline is flooded with Coach Bags now.
Because of information sharing. So if you search for it in a Google search, which is the biggest search platform out there, right? They're sharing information. So when you go into your social media, there it is. They getting you to buy it.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But is it good? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing?
I'm not going to hold you because my mind is crazy. I might be saying like, oh, I need this remote for this. I'm just making that up. And I'll forget in like an hour or two.
But it'll be on your timeline.
So that's a good thing. Like,
right.
Oh, I forgot about that.
But
sometimes they sell you things that you don't need.
Right. And then what about these scams?
Ooh, scams.
Sometimes it's hard to tell.
Makes me want to become a beekeeper.
A beekeeper. All right now.
If y'all didn't see that movie with
watch
Jason
it.
Straight, you watch it.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Don't you scare me. I might be a beekeeper.
Might be a beekeeper.
Yeah, but yeah, the internet is so I think the way to regulate it is through, parental eyes. What do you call it? Parental, whatever.
Control.
Yeah,
But that's for kids.
Well, kids become adults.
What about these adults out here that might not be?
They still fools.
Well, okay. I was just trying to think of a way to say it because I don't want to offend anybody.
They false narrating. They're
delusional.
They're delusional. They're acting like SME experts. Everything we talked about.
Or they might not have the mental capacity to comprehend
what's going on.
That something that they look at on the internet might not be true.
Let's not just leave it. Let's not fall short at looking at some of the subject matter that they are putting out themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Is like, yo, bro, you serious right now?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I laugh at a good prank. But I just saw a video today where the guy had like a Hennessy challenge. Fine. You're drinking Hennessy. See, can you take down a whole fifth? Which is crazy.
Alcohol poisoning?
Yeah, but it was not just the drinking of the liquor. You can do what you want to do.
Right, right.
But you're showing it to people whose mind might not be cemented.
Right, and you glorifying
it. And the background. He looks like he's sleeping on a mattress in a crazy room. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no disrespect to anybody that's struggling and sleeping on a mattress.
Right.
And whatever. But the social media has given those people a platform that don't deserve a platform yet because they haven't been vetted.
That is true.
I'll say that.
So should we be concerned with the effects that social media has on society as a whole?
I think so.
And do you think that those effects or the social media itself, do the negative side of social media outweigh the positive side of social media?
Wow. See, that's another hour, and I don't really want to do that.
Right. Let's leave that question open to our viewers, our listeners.
Right. Does the negative side outweigh the positive side?
Yeah. Hit us up.
We can get into history, we can get into advances, but we'll leave that for them to answer.
Yeah, hit us up. Leave us a comment. YouTube, 8121talk.com.
YouTube's 8121 Media Group. The website is 8121talk.com. Instagram, Mr. Southall. Instagram, 8121talk. Instagram, Al_Southall. Instagram, Elundius_Southall. Or
no,
Rose.
just Elundius_.
Elundius_.
Yep.
So there's a lot of ways to reach us. We're on TikTok under Mr. Southall.
Yeah, just hit us up. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think.
Negative places we've talked about, we're there. 8121 Talk, Season 4, Episode 3.
We out?
We out here.
All right now.
Peace.